Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy Grace, author of 10 young adult novels so far. And welcome to what's technically my mid-month Chit Chat video, where I just set up the camera and chat. But first, I have news. So you know Bethany Atazadeh? I'm sure you do if you've been hanging out on this channel for any amount of time. She is an author of one of my favorite fantasy series ever. She is spectacular. I admire her as a person, as a businesswoman, as an author, clearly. She is my role model. She's who I want to be when I grow up. Like, I adore Bethany Atazadeh, right? She recently dropped some news that she has a publishing course. Much like Publish and Thrive, I imagine, which, by the way, she also took back in the day. Random tidbit for you. Anyway, she has a self-publishing class that she put together. And guys, I am so freaking excited for it. Also, on top of Bethany Atazadeh, the woman that I just cannot admire more, she created this course in conjunction with Jessica Brody. That one. This Jessica Brody. The Save the Cat Writes a Novel Jessica Brody. She's not my favorite writing craft book and my favorite person on the planet working together. I can't handle this. Yes, I signed up for this class. I'm so excited. And yes, I know I just finished Publish and Thrive, and it will probably cover very similar material, but like, guys, it's Save the Cat, the author, and Bethany Atazadeh. How could I say no to that? Anyway, I'm very excited, so here we are. I haven't even made my tea yet, guys. I needed to tell you all about the thing. Hi, hello. This is how this video is actually supposed to work. I set up the camera, I drink tea out of this mug, which is very hot, and I chat about what I've been doing in the writing and reading spheres of my life for the last month. I just have really exciting news and I couldn't do it sitting down, you guys. I had to go back and watch January's mid-month Chit Chat to remember where I was a month ago. Apparently I was a third of the way through writing Lucy's Legend, so there you go. I finished Lucy's Legend. Yeah, quick recap if this happens to be your first video of mine, which seems random, but if it is, I am rewriting 8 of the books that I had previously published under Mandi Grace, bringing them under the Mandi name, and while I'm doing that, I'm rewriting all of them. So, I was rewriting book 1 in my Robin Hood series. The original document, 42,000 words. That includes front and back matter, like my table of contents, my cast of characters page, which is like lists everybody's names, the title page, yada yada, things, acknowledgements, all the things. Yeah, whole book, 42K. The manuscript of the new version, which is only the story thus far, is 91,000 words, which is, as far as I can tell, the biggest book that I have ever written. So that's insane. Also crazy because it's the initial rewrites, so about 50,000 of those words are technically just brand new scenes, words, whatever. So first draft nonsense, right? Which means I have to go back and rewrite it, edit it again. And typically speaking, when that happens, I add words, not subtract them, because I am an underwriter, so I don't necessarily describe the sights, sounds, feelings, you know, happening around. There's no descriptions, okay? The first time I write a scene, there are no descriptions. So, yeah, I tend to add a lot of stuff when I go back for edits. So the 91K will probably shoot up towards 100. I don't know how close it will get to 100, but it'll move up that direction, which just blows my mind. Yeah, so there you go. Finished Lucy's Legend, and it's much bigger than it used to be, and is probably going to keep growing. I am working on book 2 in the Robin Hood series now. I am about 7,000 words into the story, I think, at this point. It's interesting because working with Lucy's Legend, I was taking dialogue and forming it into scenes, and I was taking narrative summary and forming it into scenes. So I was basically using the original Lucy's Legend as a very detailed outline and then writing a book based off of it. But with book 2, it's not working that way exactly because there's a lot of scenes that just are pointless, irrelevant, don't matter. So what I'm doing is I'm reading a chapter and like actually deciding if any of it needs to be kept, and it really doesn't. So on my new draft, I'm on chapter 2 right now that I'm working on, and where I am story-wise compared to the original, I'm in chapter 5, so there's that. I think it's working well. I like the direction that the story is going. It's also kind of made me really excited to dive into the next 2 stories, specifically Alan's, to be honest. So book 4 in the series, which I don't get to get to for a while, but yeah, I think his streamlining of the childhood nonsense is going to be actually really cool, and I'm excited. So basically what happened was, I wrote a Robin Hood story, and then I wrote companion novels that follow essentially the same story, from a different character's perspective, but it also includes like their formative years and like why they are the way that they are and why they act the way they did in Lucy's Legend Book 1. So for much that meant just a bunch of random fluff childhood scenes that have no point, so I cut them. Anyway, so yeah, the writing of the Robin Hood series is going really well and about on track. We haven't fallen behind of my like write 8 books this year schedule yet, kind of. It's still going well. I technically started on the 5th of January rather than the 1st of January, so everything has been slightly behind. And then I've discovered this fact about myself, that I never do anything productive on Fridays, it turns out. So, you know, not writing every Friday has also made life a little bit interesting, but we are still on track, so it's fine. So that's my writing life. I pulled out the King Arthur Fantasy Story Bible for a few minutes today because I'm working on a secret project for that, but you don't get to know what that is, so I can't really talk about it. I have my cover designer all, you know, lined up. She's ready for when we start getting to that phase. So yeah, everything's running smoothly to begin publication in August. Oh, yesterday I was having fun toying with titles. So when I very first started the Rewrites project, I played around with how I could change the titles, because the original titles, Lucy's Legend, Always in Shadow, Dusty, The Tragedy of the Traitor, and The Story of Gisborne, don't necessarily have a theme, you know? They're not the same in any fashion whatsoever. Sentence structure, similar words, like nothing. There's literally nothing. It's just a bunch of random titles, which I didn't love. So I was trying to find a way to fit them all together, and I chose to base the sentence structure, essentially, off of The Tragedy of the Traitor, because that was my favorite title of all of the ones, so I wanted to keep that one. So we were doing that. So what I ended up with was, I don't know if I've told you all of this yet, but I'm about to tell you now because they've changed. I ended up with The Legend of Lucy, what was I calling Always in Shadow? The Tale of Loyalty, that was it. And then the Memoir or Diary of Dusty, I was debating on that because her book is technically like her journal. So either of those worked and I just didn't know what to do. And then The Tragedy of the Traitor, of course. And The Story of Gisborne, I was also keeping the same because it works along with The Tragedy of the Traitor. So it was essentially like a name for story, you know, legend, tale, tragedy, and then either a trait noun describing the person, like traitor, or just their name. It's just their name. Gisborne, Lucy, Dusty. So yeah, and I liked what I had going, but there were a couple that I didn't love. So The Legend of Lucy I disliked because when it was called Lucy's Legend, it was called that because Lucy was telling the legend to her great-granddaughter. But The Legend of Lucy makes Lucy the legend, right? It makes her the subject of legend. And the book is only like kind of half about her and more about Marian, and also on a broader view more just about the Robin Hood story. So I've changed that a bit. I don't know if I've settled on what any of the titles are actually going to be, but I've changed The Legend of Lucy. So my battery died and I don't have the patience to set up the camera again, even though it takes like 2 seconds, so here we are. Yes, I've changed The Legend of Lucy to something else. So basically what was happening yesterday, wow, after all that, was that I was taking the ones that I was dissatisfied with, which were The Legend of Lucy, for the reasons I said, and then Much's story. I didn't love The Tale of Loyalty, but like I couldn't figure out what I wanted. Yeah, I was taking the ones that I was dissatisfied with and trying to find a title that I loved, you know, one that gave me the spark of like, that's it, that's the name. And I was doing that with my sister, my sister-in-law, and my brother, and we were just like goofing off and throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck. And it was fun and entertaining and hilarious. And I did find some titles that I loved. And then I decided, what if I made all of them trait nouns like traitor instead of the names? So I was substituting the names of the characters, Lucy, Dusty, Gisbin, for nouns that describe them, which was really difficult, to be honest. That was a struggle bus. But anyway, so I was doing that, and we came up with some bizarre titles. I also looked at the Enneagram, because they all have Enneagram types now, and Enneagram types have titles. So like, I'm a 9, which is the peacemaker, but then also within each type, the wings give you a different name. What did the other type 9? The dreamer? And the something else, I don't remember. Anyway, so we were looking at those, which was hilarious with guys specifically, because none of them worked for a title. So like his book right now is called The Story of Gisbin, which will probably most likely stay the same, not gonna lie. But anyway, his story is called The Story of Gisbin, so I moved it to his type, which is 8, and it was like The Story of the Challenger, and then the two subtypes were like The Story of the Maverick and The Story of the Bear, and it was just stupid. It was stupid and hilarious, and we were all laughing a lot. So anyway, that's what I did yesterday. So yes, writing the Robin Hood series going well, playing around with titles, which is entertaining. Yep, that's basically it. Along with the secret project, I love that I have one. Reading is next. So, we have read. Let's see, I'm about to have to do math. What was I on previously? 27 pages in? 44. I've read 44 more pages of this. Math is hard. Also reading On Writing by Stephen King as my, professional development book on writing craft. I have to keep saying book on writing craft. It just comes out of my mouth. Like, I can't not say it. My brain spasms if I don't say it. Anyway, yeah, reading on writing, which is going really well. I've been reading that one and enjoying it, and doing the reading vlog of it, which you will see eventually. Yeah. That's all the reading I've been doing. I have been trying to be more intentional with reading my TBR. A, because I just like reading and I want to get back into it, and January was depressing. And B, because my TBR is growing. It doesn't fit on the TBR shelf station anymore, partially because I stole one of those shelves to be my tea shelf, but also because it just doesn't fit. So I need to read some of those books, and also my Hedgie sisters are like publishing books, which I will then be buying because I want to support them, which will add to my TBR, so like we need to read, you guys. Man, do you remember when I used to read like 7 or 8 books a month? What happened to that? I know what happened to that. I'm rewriting 8 books this year and my time is limited. But anyway, I have read, you know, 5 or 10 pages every other day in The Hero of Ages over the last week-ish, which isn't spectacular, but we've been making forward movement, so it's possible I will finish The Hero of Ages before the end of the month. I can't promise I will read anything else, but yeah, we'll read that one. It's kind of sad, because honestly, it's a binge-worthy book, and when I sit down to read it, I keep turning pages, but I'm either doing it when I have limited amount of time and then suddenly have to go do something else, or I'm doing it at the end of the day when I basically fall asleep and can't keep reading, which is also weird because I used to just keep reading regardless of how tired I was. When I first read The Lord of the Rings back when I was, I don't know, like 15 or something, I stayed up every night for how many ever days it took me to read all 3 of those volumes. Like, I read them all very fast all night long and just didn't sleep. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it. Getting old. My friend and I have decided that 9 p.m. is actually the new midnight. So, there you go. Haven't really been reading, apart from On Writing by Stephen King. Have been writing so much it's insane. I wrote 91,000 words in 31 days. And over half of that was brand new material and not transferred over. That just blows my mind. It actually makes me really happy because I used to write this fast. Like, this was natural for me. I would write a book in a month and be like, yeah, I did. Okay, moving on. Who's next? But the last, like, 3 books in the King Arthur Fantasy series that I've been writing, it's just taken so much longer to get through them, and it was making me sad inside. And part of it is because, like, I write so many more words than I used to. Like, writing a 42,000 word manuscript in a month is very different from writing 91,000 words in a month. You know, like, it's not the same. And technically, because only about 50,000 words of that was brand new, it was essentially like doing NaNoWriMo in January. Basically. And I've done, I win NaNoWriMo, so, you know, whatever. Anyway, the point is, I wrote a lot of words and it made me happy. And I will continue to do so. Oh, on the self-publishing course with Bethany Atazadeh and Jessica Brody. What? I haven't actually started it. I signed up for it and, like, watched the welcome to the course video, but I haven't actually done anything with it yet. I plan to. I'll keep you posted on that. Also, I think it'll be interesting because I literally just finished Publish and Thrive. I think it'll be interesting to, like, maybe compare and contrast a little. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I think it will be great to do this course now while I'm gearing up to publish all of the books that I'm republishing, because I have all this knowledge from Publish and Thrive, and then I'll be building on top of that through Bethany's course, and then, like, maybe I'll be really brilliant at publishing and marketing my series moving forward. That's the hope. I think that's everything. I have a prickle starting in 15 minutes. I'm gonna go, you know, write some more of book 2 in the Robin Hood series. It's exciting stuff. Obviously, if you want to stick around and be along for this wild journey of rewriting 8 books in a single year, you should subscribe to my channel. It's a lot of fun over here. I'm chaotic and you just get to watch and laugh at me. It's great. I am trying, for those of you who, you know, watch all of the videos over however long you've been here, I am trying to do better than January, where, like, every video was a rewrites vlog. I'm still vlogging my rewriting adventure, but I'm trying to have a lot of other videos, so, like, doing 1 rewrites vlog a week and then something else as well, because I post twice a week, so I can do a rewrites vlog and then something else and, like, break it up a little. We'll see how that goes. I think that is the end. So, thanks for watching. My most chaotic mid-month chit-chat video, probably.